You have made a fortress in the Underdark with Astarion and other outcast vampire spawn. It is not civilized, it is not safe, but it is home. Few know how to find you, and most that do are unwelcome. So when a message arrives addressed to you both, you fear the worst. Hunters, killers, tormentors. But you need not fear. This letter is an invitation, and it comes from a friend. Written in a frail hand, it requests your presence at a gathering of your former allies, those who stood with you against the Absolute. The journey to the surface is long and perilous, but you would not miss this for the world.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon, wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
Well, here we are. Let's quickly change out of this suit that I assume Nyxx just wore to try to blend in on their journey back to the surface. If anybody wants this outfit, it is a new mod, so just check the description for the link. Let's go talk to this big goof first. It's good to see you.
He looks coyly at the ground, suddenly shy.
What have you been up to since last we met?
He snaps the air and wiggles. He's either miming fighting a many-limbed creature or dancing. It's unclear. He is, however, exhausted. He's had plenty of adventures without you.
You look tired. What say we find you a home? Oh, not with me. How about with Halsin?
The joy in the owlbear's eyes is clear. He longs to have a home, and Halsin is perfect. The owlbear's eyes are alight with excitement. He can't wait to go home with Halsin.
The rewards are delicious.
Karnak.
Can I have some? Oh, shit. Oh, my God. He wasn't kidding. With us, you mad bastard! You brought me back! Soldier. It's really you. I've missed you, you old bile spawn. Oh, do you not want me to call you the B word anymore?
It's all right. I see my blood not as a curse anymore, but a duty. I've been studying Baal so I can fight him if his cult ever strikes again.
You're too good, buddy. Well, you did save the world despite getting repeatedly possessed by the spirit of murder, so technically, you're the best. I'm just so glad you're doing all right. I thought of you often, whenever I could spare half a thought. Surviving Avernus doesn't leave you much time to think. But having Will around has been incredible. Fuck is even better at killing devils than yours truly. We don't have much time to chat, but just knowing he's there makes all the difference. Oh, but hey, guess what we found? Cambion dropped a map with directions and blueprints for Zariel's own private forge. A fucking forge! Our current plan is to get in, grab a smith, and force him to fix old Rusty. Or maybe give me a brand new model that can live outside of Avernus. You haven't seen the last of old Karlach yet, soldier.
I'm so glad to hear you might be able to fix your heart. You must be so happy.
Trying not to count my owlbears before they've hatched. But the thought of coming back to Baldur's Gate keeps me going. Can I look you up when I'm out?
You had better. I'll hunt you down myself.
Hey, that would be kind of fun, though. High stakes hide and seek. Honestly, I'd be curious to see if you could land a blow or two. Gods, is it good to see you again. To be here together. Hard not to get used to it all over again. This won't be the last time. I promise. Look at this place. At us! This is the best party I've ever been to!
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice.
The music's fine. Uninvited guests or not. Who are you?
You have no idea who I am, do you? I thought Withers might have set the stage a little.
Go on then. What's your name?
Milil. Though if the lack of song prayers is anything to go by, that name carries less weight than it used to. Apologies. I think I got a mote. Carried away there. You're hardly to blame. You just want to change up the music, I wager.
Sure. I'd like you to play a different song, please.
Go on then. What should I play?
Do you have any new compositions? Something that's never been heard before?
Fine. It's your party, after all.
Ah, breathe deep, Pooh. The smell of heroes sings from every stone in this place. Ah, to meet again where your journey began, my friend. An honor. For Minsk and his hamster both. Oh, and for Happy also.
Yes. Honored, of course.
Who is this then?
See how your very presence snatches the breath from his chest? And it is no wonder. It is just this day that Happy learned of your legend, while we gazed down upon the very city you saved.
He dangled me from the high hall, upside down, for 2 hours.
The guild should not go creeping in high places if they do not have the stomach for them, hmm? It is well for Happy the strange portal appeared when it did. Minsk's arm was growing achsome.
You're still chasing after the guild? I thought you'd made your peace with them.
So I have. Though it is a peace made more from blade and boot than it is any sense of brotherhood. 9 fingers forbade any looting of the Illithid's fleshy vessels. And so Minsk guards what remains of the battle site. Even from her. But where Minsk might once have thrown any sneaking scoundrels from the tower top, Now I tell them of you. How you ruled the wickedness within. How they might do the same.
Yes, yes, I'll rule it. I'll be better.
Oh, of course. It is still for Boo to decide if they live or die.
Oh gods.
But enough, my friend! I cannot tell your tale if I do not know the whole of it. Nyxx and Boo would know where you have been, what you have done.
I've been with Astarion, trying to find a way to cure him.
A powerful pairing. If love cannot cure a vampire, what can? Oh, Boo suggests a variety of arcane remedies, but love is the most potent, and by far the easiest to pronounce. Now, halfling, Boo will not have you embarrassing him in front of his friends, so you ought to know the rest of the company you keep. Will Ravengard, the Blade of Frontiers, Devil-Horned and Angel-Hearted. Lae'zel of Creshkiller, true child of Gith and true friend to Boo, though she will and say it is not so. Astarion, who is banished by the sun itself for fear his Spanish soul might outshine it. We visit him much down in the dark places, though he often moves his lair without remembering to tell Min Square. Gale, the man who would be a god, but then thought better of it. Boo thinks better of him for it too. Halsin, archdruid of Arch somewhere. He is a much better man than he smells. And there, the champion of the Hells herself. Karlach Demon's Bane, Devil's Bane, Merkul Ball and Bane. Once the guild is made of goodness once more, Bull shall scratch the Hells wide open and find a way to bring her back. And finally, Jaheira. If this is a name you do not already know, then not even Boo can save you. Study them well, sneak thief, for the best among them will be a guide for your guild. Heroes who put the city before themselves, who never falter in their duty. And more than this, who never arrive to a party without even a gift for the host.
But wait!
Go, my friend. Be among our friends. There is much work yet to be done before this one is fit to join them.
Maybe I'm just hearing what I want to hear, but is Happy also voiced by Matt Mercer? Gotta do some research. Ooh, lots of letters to read. Let's just pick one. Yeah, we'll go with the Gur. To the spawn Astarion. Greetings from the family of Ulma, hunters of monsters and keepers of peace across Faerun. We know this letter finds you well, for although we hunt you no longer, we do sometimes keep a watch. Your restraint and control over your bloodlust has been admirable. Indeed, it has been an inspiration for our children who have struggled with their own hunger. These last months have been a difficult time for our people. We have protected and nurtured our children as best we can, and we have learned much. Herbs we once used to dull our foes' minds are now sedatives to ease hunger and pain. Restraints built to hold the undead now protect them from themselves. There has been a lot of pain, but a lot of progress too. Our children learned discipline and control, while we learned compassion and patience. There was a time when we would have destroyed any undead creature, our own blood or not, and called it a mercy. But then we met you. We saw that redemption... Excuse me. We saw that redemption was possible. Difficult, yes. Painful, but possible. You saved our children first from Cazador. Oh my gonna cry. You saved our children first from Cazador and then from us. For that, we thank you. We will watch you still, but with more admiration than fear. Walk in peace, Astarion. Good gods.
A beautiful night. I wish
How
it could
dare
last
you,
forever.
Larian?
There you are, my friend. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
Just smells like surface to me.
You don't know what you're missing. The sweetness of honeysuckle. The earthiness of splitting oak. A far cry from the rancid Avernus heat that's been clogging my lungs. I swear, Karlach and I have felled enough Cambions to build a fortress with their horns. Who'd have thought that just one of those fiends held the key to escaping Avernus for good? One of them sported a map and some blueprints. If you want all the gory details, Karlach can fill you in. But get this. If those blueprints work, I could reverse engineer my stone eye. Instead of Mazora tracking me, I could track her. It's past time for her old pet to sink in his fangs.
How have you been faring without your warlock powers?
I think the splinters I made out of the last bone devil I saw speak for themselves. Not to pat myself too hard on the back, but I'm not such a bad ranger if I do say so myself.
Have you had any time to visit your father?
I've seen him more than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch. And he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's Chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last Fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart.
You know, I know it could be standoffish, but I have missed traveling with you. You are a pleasure to be around.
I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side.
Thanks, Will.
Well, that's enough hell talk for the moment. The night's young. You shouldn't go wasting it. Or wasting any of the wine, for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oh, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen. Cheers to you. Cheers to Withers. Cheers to all of us.
Did I don't think I got the second line from Minsk.
We shall conclude our business with the thief. But have no fear, my friend. Boo will save you a dance.
Well, look who it is.
Well now. You can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to.
I missed you too, Jaheira.
How nice to be understood again. I have spent the past months bickering with builders and bankers, all to restore the city exactly as it was. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers, same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon, same cisterns overflowing, huh?
The Baal temple still stands through the carnage.
An empty throne. Thanks to you, the city will not be long in burying it. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three, but nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two if they don't expel her. Again.
All well and good, but what about you? I want to hear what you've been up to.
Honestly, much more sitting down than I'd like. Mistake me not. There is still much to be done. Plans to make, maps to be frowned over. But my children are more than capable of doing it. Even the young ones tire of me peeking over their shoulders. This night offers them a brief respite from me, at least. And this place, now I look at it, it is where you all spent your first night together, no? A fine spot for an adventure to begin. A fine spot indeed.
You're not going back to the city, are you?
Of course I am. Perhaps just the long way around. It would be good to stretch my legs for a bit. I'll find my way back, as I always do. I admit defeat. Baldur's Gate is my home. But that is the thing about home. The only way to see it clearly is to leave. And look back. For a little while, at least. But I see the flush in your cheeks when I speak of family. Perhaps you mean to start one of your own. Oh, I don't want to watch over a blood match where the duelists call me Auntie. You just be careful, Valspawn.
I'd never let that happen.
All right, Bald child. It is true you are no longer what you were. You have done well for yourself. For all your travels. I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you.
My home is with Astarion.
Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine. I won't send too many letters back to the gate while I'm away. I will try to enjoy solace. But you look disbelieving.
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it?
What have you got there, Scratch?
A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism.
Where the hell did you find this?
He whines. Less talk, more throw.
Why not?
Good company and good wine from the looks of it.
Let's see, who do we have left? Gale, who is now a member of Nyx's family. The headcanon is strong in this one.
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance.
Gale, I saw you a few 10 days ago. Come here. Big idiot.
Well, that was quite lovely. I'm glad you're as pleased to see me as I am you. I have to say, I'm quite grateful to just be Gale for the evening. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them. Or the fear of Mystra, to be more specific. She sought me out. Not long after, we went our separate ways, and assured me neither she nor the orb should pose me any threat in the future. Of course, it's still in there. A constant reminder of my former hubris. And a surprisingly effective means of keeping my more disobedient students in line. Perhaps a tad too effective. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils.
You used to take yourself rather seriously, you know.
I did. But meeting you, traveling the strangest of roads together, I learned to see myself differently. See the weave differently. In fact, I've actually been considering writing down the story of our adventures. The true tale of our flawed but ultimately endearing troupe, and the trials and tribulations we overcame. I can hardly leave it to the likes of Volo to give a true account of our adventures. And no one would believe him if he did.
That odious man truly frizzles my whiskers. Long-haired miniature dragon, he calls me. Tressim is much less of a mouthful.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned?
Our journey together granted me unprecedented clarity. I feel more connected to my key than ever.
From you, I'd expect nothing less. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'd be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you.
Discipline, focus, the art of unarmed combat. All things that would benefit a wizard in their studies. It would be an honor.
Well, I, for one, can't wait. And I say with some confidence, neither can they. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower.
Yeah, Nyxx is definitely gonna rat on him later for that.
It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come. I can't believe this is real. Never thought we'd gather like this again. It's quite... yes, it's really quite lovely.
It smells so good here!
We'll send word by pigeon when we've need of you. I used to have a taste for them, but a great many things have changed in recent months. Ta-ta, darling.
Where's she going?
For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head.
Your efforts to topple Vlaakith are well underway, then.
We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the Astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zerith Minyaragith. No need to pretend. I know the word means little to you. Shraktalor is the capital of the Githzerai, an exiled people, once kin with mine until the madness of civil war ripped out one sky into 2. Algish sent word of the rebellion to their god king Zerith Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, as they say.
Sometimes. But I don't need the Githzerai to fight for us. Just with us. Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. He is also a near deity. Should the Githzerai join us, we could topple the City of Death in a red dragon's blink. Should they refuse, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm.
Well, good luck, Lae'zel.
And to you, always. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. But don't think you've seen the last of me. I'll be back. Sure as the comet will rise. Sure as Kalir will forever circle the sun. This is... nice. Yes. I think that's the right word for it.
Next. Why don't we check on Astarion?
And? How have our friends fared without us?
They seem... happy, really.
I'm glad. It would be so easy to go through everything we did and come out the other side bitter and twisted. But they deserve happiness. We all do. And I will forever be grateful to have found it with you.
So am I. Truly.
I do feel a little bad keeping you all to myself. After all, I get to see you every night.
Do you want to come talk to the others?
Tempting. But you make a better ambassador for us than I do. I'll keep skulking here. I do it well, after all. Go on, go mingle. Enjoy your time with the others. Bless them with your presence. I'll be here when you're ready. I'll always be here, my love.
Well, I guess let's go talk to this one then.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more.
You sound almost sentimental, considering we didn't really get along.
Our differences are insignificant compared to our shared experiences and achievements. We are a rare breed. We should let bygones be bygones.
Very well, then. How are you?
I was just about to ask the same of you. I'll admit, I am curious to hear how you've been occupying your days.
You first.
In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together.
Is this the balance you wished for?
In a manner of speaking, yes. Though it is a more complex, evolving beast than I could ever have anticipated. True balance is no simple, fixed thing. I see that now. We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but it is a thrilling sort of chaos. It thrives in ways I could never have dreamed of.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
As am I. I may age more slowly than most, but I do believe I've gained some new laughter lines of late. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake.
All right. Let me see what I have.
I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image.
Well, we refurbished the Arcane Tower, and did you know there's a kraken living in the Ebon Lake? Well, actually not anymore, but the spawn are well fed now, and Astarion dusted off his old law degree, and let's just say it's certainly been interesting.
You have kept yourself busy. I expected no less, in truth. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you wish to retell of your exploits in person, well, I shall not object to a night off. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else.
About that, I may have volunteered you for something, if you'll forgive me. Might your new community have room for a well-behaved owlbear?
Do you truly even need to ask? Of course! Who could not open their home to a befeathered hero of Baldur's Gate? And I did promise the children I would bring them back a surprise. Imagine their faces.
Good. Well, I'll be off then.
Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company.
You're quite the sentimental creature at heart. You know that?
Oh, I am well aware, trust me. Now, I've taken up enough of your time. Go on, enjoy the festivities.
Realize you were such a homebody, Tal.
It truly is splendid to see everyone gathered together again. If only for a night. I hope the sun does not make haste to rise on us.
Go on, talk to the others. We have forever after all.
Reunited with friends amidst nature.
Well, there's only
What more
one
could I
person
wish for?
left.
Ah, it's the star of the show. Our humble protagonist who forsook Baal to save the city. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post.
Have you come seeking a statement for your next tell-all?
Oh, I wouldn't bother you with such things during a party. And anyway, I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form. You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think?
You can do better, can't you?
Oh, terribly sorry, but you mistake me, my friend. I'm only accepting complimentary feedback at this time. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Hmm? Ah, your success really has been wonderful for my reputation. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in.
I believe that's my cue to leave. Okay, wait. No, house and dancing like a dad is our cue to leave.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
I can't help but feel some things have been left undone.
If thou could only see the paths of fate untaken, thy mind would surely break. Be glad of thy chosen path. It is, after all, thine. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much.
I think I've caught up with everyone. What comes next?
What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, Rest, revel, but be ready. For thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
To all of you, my real family.
To you.
Well, there you have it. I can't believe it's over. Oh my gosh. Well, as Nyx's story comes to a close, I just wanted to say thank you, of course, to Larian for making this game that I love. But for those of you also who have been watching this playthrough, thank you for giving me a platform to be weird and creative and to geek out about my character, for letting me practice my voice acting skills with you. I am just so grateful. It's been amazing. I'm gonna spend some time mourning the end of Nyx's story, and then what do you say we do this whole thing again? I'll see you in campaign number 2.